Hey guys, I'm Brian.
And I'm Terry.
Welcome back to another episode in our Forest to Farm series here on Survival Dispatch. Today we are going to talk about keeping water out of the foundations because we eventually want to come back and fill them, but there's rain coming. And
yeah.
we don't have time to get them filled.
Ideally, we'd have houses sitting on top of them, but they're not there yet. So.
Yeah. We want to keep the water out because we have heard stories of water getting in these foundations and freezing and cracking the block.
Exactly.
As long as we waited to get these in, that's the last thing we want to happen.
Yeah, and we're considering putting concrete in these blocks. Well, we came out here and looked after it had rained. A couple days later, there was, some of them had 4 or 5 inches of water standing in those holes. Well, you go to pour concrete down there, that's not the best thing. You don't want a bunch of water down there.
No.
So
it's going to throw your mix off a bit.
Yeah.
So we wanted to come up with an efficient, inexpensive way
quick and easy
water out. Yes. So we went looking at local big box stores and we came across some 3mm poly, the plastic that would go under houses or, you know, really heavy duty painter type plastic and whatnot.
It was like 10 by 25 feet?
Yeah, it was 10 by 25 feet and it was, I think, $11 for those rolls. And we calculated it out, cutting strips wide enough to cover each 8-inch block wall plus a couple inches of overlap, and it worked out to be literally exactly those 2 rolls with 0 left over.
We thought we were going to have a little bit, but with the overlap and everything.
We forgot Dad had a 46-foot wall that's 12 inches because he wanted his full 8-inch bearing surface for the house plus a 4-inch bearing surface for the front porch. So
because it's going to be concrete.
Eating that extra couple inches ate every bit of plastic that we had. Fortunately, he had already had a couple of sections poured with mortar when they were doing the foundation, and we didn't need to cover that 5 feet.
Yeah, literally.
We didn't have enough plastic for it.
Yeah.
So it worked out really well. One thing to keep in mind, this plastic does not last forever. It is only a 3mm, and it's in the sun baking every day.
If you're a prepper and you're thinking plastic's going to be your salvation if something comes up like a leaky roof or whatever, it's not going to last. It's not going to last long at all in the sun. We
had a lot of rain and a lot of work, and we were unable to get out here and get the concrete poured. And I think almost 8 months passed between us putting this poly on the foundations and when we actually came to take it off to get concrete.
Yeah, and most of it was still in place. There's a few places that had broken, cracked, and rolled.
Yeah.
But when we took it off, it literally, some of it just looked like leaves falling. It just busted to pieces. It was dry rotted.
It was hilarious. It was like leaves falling off a tree. It just fell to pieces everywhere. But it did its job and it kept most of the water out. I mean, we had only where it cracked did we have water getting in. Otherwise, by putting the coal brick and busted up block we had laying around, by putting that on top, that kept all the water out, kept the wind from blowing it up. It worked extremely well.
And we had no intentions of leaving it that long, but life.
That's why I put the plastic on there, because we didn't know. Yeah. We knew from doing this process for going on 5 years that things happen, life happens, and we have to work for a living. So
yeah, and we've been running 2 businesses for 20 years.
Yeah.
And well, one of them not quite 20, but the other one 20.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been very busy. We've cut way back on our work, and our focus is, once we start these houses, that's what we're going to do.
This is all we're doing once we start building.
Yeah, but getting to this stage, we had to cut down a forest. And
for 2 guys, it's been a monumental amount of work to do. And when life happens, when you have a baby, and now he's 2 years old, it you know, time passes very quickly before you realize it.
Oh yeah.
So that's why we went ahead and did the poly, because we knew things happen. We wanted to keep these things as dry as long as possible because it was going to be going through winter. We did not want them to freeze and crack. Too much money invested.
It doesn't bother me a bit that it's taking this long. I actually love every minute out here. The only complaint I have, the only thing that bothers me is when the sun's going down, it's like, man, if we just had a couple more hours, you know, a couple more hours.
But
we don't want to leave.
And I wish we were already done and in here, but at the same time, like he says, I'm kind of glad that it took this long, because my son, who is literally turning 2 in a couple of weeks, loves construction stuff. He cannot get enough of it. So
tools, hammers.
He's cutting his teeth on building these houses. He has been a part of everything since we started doing the foundations. He has been out here to see it happen, and he cannot get enough of it.
We're going to create little projects for him along the way.
Oh yeah. When they come and pump concrete, all the concrete guys are like, put him up in the truck, and he still talks about it, and it's been a month and a half since we had concrete poured for the...
He was in heaven sitting in that truck. He was steering the wheel, honking the horn.
Loved every minute of it. So
yeah.
the wait time is worth every bit of the joy in his face when he's doing that and still talking about it.
And these are lessons he's going to learn at a very young age that, I mean,
yeah,
he already knows what tools, get a screwdriver, Papa, and all this, you know, he knows what.
More than most grown men know, sadly.
Yeah, he does. He does
really
good.
Funny. Yep.
And he can swing a hammer too.
Yes, he can.
We're going to have little projects for him. And I was telling Brian today we're going to get some crayons like you use for drawing on wood and whatnot. And when we're in there working at things that he can be in there safely, we'll give him a red one and a blue one and whatever colors and let him go. The house is going to be well decorated before it ever gets finished.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But worth every minute, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's all there is to it, guys. You know, this is just a quick and efficient way to cover your foundations if you need to protect it before you can get concrete poured, before you can start building if you're not going to pour the concrete. Gets the job done, very inexpensive. So hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, give us a big thumbs up for a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Have a good one, guys.
See you next time.